Let's jump into the news now. 4 people, including a year-old baby, have been killed in a motor accident in the central region. The crash involving an articulated truck and a Yutong bus happened at Edweji on the Elmina-Takoradi Highway. 19 others were injured, including a child in critical condition. Georgina Apia Fartis report.
Eyewitnesses say the articulated truck from Takoradi end of the highway speeding veered off its lane in a curve at Edweji and clashed sideways with the Yutong bus and sped off. The driver of the articulated truck later said he sped off to repair his car, but was later arrested by the police in Cape Coast upon a tip-off. The victims of the accident, including the dead, have been taken to the Central Regional Hospital in Cape Coast. Briefing Joy News in Cape Coast, the doctor in charge at the emergency unit of the Cape Coast Regional Hospital, Dr. Enyin Dadzi, explained that the patients are responding to treatment and are at the moment stabilized.
We had 19 people being brought in here and then 4 sent to the morgue. So we are attending to them. So far 3 are very critically injured. The others are generally stable with varying degrees of injuries. We have varying degrees of fractures. We had one person who had complete amputation of the limb, of the upper limb, and then we had another woman in there who is also badly injured. She had an abortion injury, but she's stable.
Meanwhile, the Regional Road Safety Director, Stephen Anoche, has revealed that in 2003 alone, accidents recorded in the region stood at 1,157 with 288 deaths. He, however, indicated his outfit is working around the clock to reduce the accident rates on the region's roads.
When you look at the way the accident happened and the nature of the damage to the vehicles, you know, it will tell you that not many people can survive in such circumstance. So we are going to direct our attention at stopping the speeding on the road. That is why we are talking about the zonal patrol with the police and ensure that if we are able to do this consistently, we can see a lot of the situation getting sanitized.
The Student Representative Council of the University of Ghana is threatening mayhem if authorities go ahead with the plan to toll roads in the university from next month. Authorities plan to charge commercial vehicles 2 cedis, with private vehicles expected to pay 1 Ghana cedi.
Joy News gathered that the project involves the asphalting and resealing of selected roads on the University of Ghana campus owing to the regular use of the roads, especially by commercial vehicles, to avoid traffic, among others. The facelift project, the authorities say, will cost 7 million Ghana cedis and would also have speed ramps. The tolling will be done at the 6 entry points to the university, and all vehicles will be required to pay apart from those owned by staff members. According to management, revenue accrued from the tolls will be used to pay a back loan contracted from Ghana Commercial Bank to finance the project. But the Students' Representative Council is up in arms, claiming it has been completely sidelined in the whole affair.
First, I think it's important for us to establish that the SRC was never involved in the process to determine how much to be charged for the tolls. These decisions have effects on students, and it is only proper that students, being the major stakeholders in the university, we are involved in the process and be duly informed, but that has not been done. Father Christmas, they are not working for charity where they will be giving out 2 cedis to the university upon entry. They will surely pass on that cost to the students. So at the end of the day, the whole of the toll system, it is we, the students, that are going to suffer and going to bear the consequences, which is very bad.
He said the council has petitioned the registrar of the university and has given the school up to January 22nd to respond.
The painful aspect is that the lecturers and management members and the people who have their money, who can even afford 10 cedis or 100 cedis upon entry, are those that have their cars and are being exempted. And we, the poor students, are those going to be paying in order to, we are going to pay for these things, which is very bad. It's important for government and members of management to know that those who make peaceful negotiations impossible would make violent demonstrations inevitable. They should always trust the student power. We are more than ready to resist everything to make sure that this policy comes into place. Don't even be surprised if we block all the roads to traffic, and we are ready to take all the responsibility. We are engaging them, and we hope that they listen to us. But if they fail to do that, they will have themselves to blame.
Meanwhile, commercial drivers who operate in the university say they may quit if the plan is implemented.
Motorway, you pay 50 pesos. How much campus university? Nothing here. Is a university, not business center. But when we enter, pay to see there is too much for us. I will stop the job.
Why?
Because we are not getting. You see, we are not getting the job.
The news team made attempt to get reactions from the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the university management, who were said to be the major stakeholders in the decision-making process. The team was, however, unsuccessful.
Right, so Legon ready to put tolls on their roads. Now, let's jump to the telecommunication companies. Now, they have increased the rates for both voice and data services due to the increment in taxes by government. The Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications is indicating that the mere public announcement by the network operators is a confirmation of the authenticity of the increment. In an interview with a Accra-based radio station, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Kweku Sechiado, explained that tariffs in the industry are determined independently, but it depends on how each network operator reads the market. He noted the increased rates are justified due to the increment in taxes, tariffs and petroleum products. Kweku Sechiado also explained that energy cost constitutes more than 30% of the operational expenditure of mobile phone companies.
President John Mahama on Wednesday said he is under pressure from within his own government to sack his finance minister. He made the revelation when he met the new managing director of the Barclays Bank, Patience Achianu, at the Flagstaff House.
When we are fiscally indisciplined and we create a situation where the deficit goes up, inflation starts to rise, interest rates start to rise, then it affects them adversely. And so sometimes, not really due to their fault, they do government contracts, they do work for government, and we fail to pay them on time, and the banks are running after them, So it's a vicious cycle we need to break, and that is why a lot of the reforms that SET is carrying out in the finance ministry with regards to the gift miss and making sure that we budget properly and make sure that the MDAs follow budget discipline and all that are issues that we're trying to introduce. But people have been used to the bad old ways for so long that it's very difficult to change their attitudes to see what is happening. I mean, several times they've interceded with me to sack Seth because he's hurting the politics. He doesn't understand the politics, If there's no money, he should go and borrow. As if it were that easy.
Right, and so the president there saying that Seth is being asked to be sacked because, according to them, he doesn't understand the politics. But Seth says he's humbled by what President Mahama's vote of confidence in him, despite pressure on the president to dismiss him. The finance minister's comments follow remarks by the president when he was interacting with the head of Barclays Bank Ghana at the Flagstaff House.
For me, it is sobering, to have the president express, such views, but it is more of a challenge, to not disappoint His Excellency, and I must say the party, because I have a lot of well-wishers in the party. I don't think we should, get that wrong. There's a lot of well-wishers, including senior party members who relate to me, and they listen patiently, as I try to explain to your audience, because they also have a duty, to explain things to our party supporters as well as, to Ghanaians. So I must say it's just sobering. And together with my colleagues, it's not alone. And also together with my staff, many of who spend sleepless nights, we have a challenge now to not to disappoint His Excellency. If you would permit me, that's all I would like to say, on this subject.
Traders at the Malamata market say they would rather use their monies to buy goods and keep the rest of their expenses. According to them, apart from the frustrations they encounter with the bank, there is nothing else to say. And Matilda Nyakwandenis has more.
Ghana's drive to mobilize deposits from the unbanked population and encourage a culture of savings has been fraught with serious challenges. These include competition from microfinance firms, savings and loans companies, as well as credit unions. But it appears the unbanked population is not bothered by the growth of these firms. The traders say they prefer to remain unbanked because there's really nothing to save.
Oh, say I'm tired into the Betobia, Nadia Coto, Abishim. The Betobia, Nadia Coto, now the Abishim. I guess Ubidi.
These microfinances are collapsing because there are no sales. If you have the goods and you can't sell, everything goes down. Well, it's my own money. So long as I can have enough to pay my rent, take care of myself, then it's fine. But if I'm not selling, how do I live?
Auntie Joyce, a cloth seller, used to save with the bank. She closed her account because of what she describes as unnecessary bureaucracy.
Because of this voter's ID card, it was very difficult for me to claim my money. So I have to go to the credit union for them to assist me. So they have to go to the bank, claim in their name before they refunded the money to me. They told me they cannot refund the money for me because the picture on the card and the name was different. And I asked them whether they cannot do anything about it. They said no.
On the contrary, Maria Pia, also a trader, has been saving with the Ghana Commercial Bank for the past 20 years. But she concedes she would rather save her money where she can experience more flexibility.
If you say, we'll save your banker, we'll profit Albaniano, Craby. And I'm ribbon so do ya, Miss Mkoto, treasure bill. I will also me who got Tremia. Me person, I made it treasure bill in the back, no. Almost aunties, it can't be free, so made you one man tears.
All four women have saved with various banks in their years as traders, but they say they are yet to experience banking tailored to suit them.
Right. The issue of the merchant bank sale to Fortis will not go away. The bank's head office in Accra, for about half an hour on Thursday, became the rallying point for a group of marchers who were demanding an immediate reversal of the sale of the bank to Fortis Equity Fund. The police had to hold off the chanting demonstrators, some of whom were threatening to enter the premises. Matilda Wemega witnessed the protest.
The sale of 90% shares in Merchants Bank to Fortis has been faced with a lot of opposition and dodged by controversy, with the president being drawn in at some point. There's been a number of attempts to scuttle the deal. One of them a legal suit by the executive director of the Center for Freedom and Accuracy, Andrew Awuni, was thrown out. An attempt by some members of parliament to probe the deal also failed to pass. But that's not been all. Organized labor led by the Trade Unions Congress has also dropped hints it intends to go to court over the issue. But ahead of the appearance in court, the Public Action Against Corruption and Abuse is mounting its own pressure with their public protest and almost succeeding in disrupting business at the head office of the bank. It took the intervention of the police to stop them. The group, numbering about 100, who started off from the Obra spot at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra, marched through the principal streets of the capital with their placards and chanting against the sale. The leaders of the group described the deal as fraudulent and called on Ghanaians to fight against it.
We want them to give merchant back to the people of Ghana. The whole deal is a cook-up deal. It's a dangerous deal where people want to launder money and keep it here to run their campaign for 2016. And we are not going to sit down for that thing to happen. Ghana belongs to all of us. The pensioner in the north, we are talking about a teacher who's living in a remote village somewhere. All of them have a stake in Merchant Bank, and we have to make sure that we safeguard the property and institutions that belongs to the people of Ghana. And that is why we are here today.
As we have already had indications that because of this particular single action, customers are leaving. If they leave, what is there for you to hold on to? So for us, it is getting somewhere. Our parliament might have disappointed us. Our parliamentarians did a very bad job. Senate might have shortchanged contributors, but for us, this battle has just begun.
So how far do you intend to go with this?
As far as it takes to ensure that this deal is terminated and that everybody who owes...
The demonstrators eventually converged at the Hearts Park where they were addressed by their leaders.
Asamba Kwamekano said the voice of conscience must speak in this country. Ghana from Pennyfomu ye the main ramo. Ghana from Pennyfo ye the main ramo. Adikudentia. Omutuwa musume bia yetu omuka no echese omumbo ye ho ban enuti na yamo muka enuti na yamo secretaries yamo mu air condition yamo mu drivers yamo mu pay akase they have a duty to protect the people of this country. Yes, it is their duty and they better wake up.
The group, however, did not present any petition, but assured there will be a similar demonstrations in other regions until government heed their call. Matilda Pumaga for Joy News, Accra.
Moving to the Volta region now, dozens of people on Tuesday besieged the premises of U.S. group companies at the Hall in the Volta regional capital, demanding returns on their investments. The group, including the young and old, also threatening to loot assets belonging to the company. The company has been in the news over its deposit-taking operations, which Bank of Ghana says is unlawful.
Customers last year invested in the company expecting 100% profit from a tilapia project after 6 months as promised by a branch of the company, U.S. Tilapia Investments. Apparently, after 6 months, investors were told monies were not ready. They then suspected foul play after a couple of postponed payment dates scheduled by the company. After 1 year of waiting, these investors decided to protest, claiming they have been defrauded. They threatened to seize assets belonging to the company, such as US FM, a home-based radio station, US Drinking Water, and US Microfinance, all belonging to the mother company, US Group. However, with the intervention of the police, the situation was brought under control. The disappointed investors, including teachers, farmers, drivers and businessmen and women, as well as pensioners, went berserk when asked to come back later. The investments range between 100 to 100,000 cedis. Some of the investors who spoke to Joy News include 72-year-old John Doe, who invested 500 Ghana cedis to use the interest to bury his late wife.
A failure to that, in fact, I will not be happy. I have to think twice and then take any form of drastic action that I wish. Any form of drastic action that I wish.
How is it affecting you?
It is affecting me, both health and then in doing some of my domestic activities.
6 months, I came for this and they gave me, they said they have to process my this thing for 1 week or 2 weeks. So they collected my certificate, sent it to Accra. They brought it back. Then they gave me a post-dated check. I went to the bank. it bounced. So I was advised to send it to my bankers. I give it to my bankers. They also sent it through this, and it went and came back, and they couldn't give me the money. So I went to their head office. They promised me to give me another check. Up to this time, I've been coming here every day, every day. I've been going to their head office. Up to this, I have not received my money. And the money I took from bank, because even the money when I took I had wanted to buy a car. The money was not sufficient. That's why I invested.
Meanwhile, representatives of the aggrieved investors say they have had a meeting with management of the company and agreed on 23rd January to resolve the matter. These investors, however, have vowed to meet and advise themselves on the next plan of action if the company does not fulfill its promise of settling them on the agreed date.
We concluded that we were going to meet on the 23rd at the pensioners hostel hall and know the modalities of payment and also how it's going to be. Then after that meeting, if there's no concrete resolution, then we can come together and decide on the next way forward. But until we meet them, we cannot decide on anything yet. So we are hoping to meet them on the 23rd. Whatever they have for us, then we all pick it up from there.
Finally on the AM show, the Ghana Commercial Bank says it has arrested some suspects, including customers who are alleged to be part of a fraud syndicate that made some suspicious withdrawals from the bank. According to the Tier 1 bank, it has made progress with intelligence. In a statement, the Commercial Bank said some staff are also being invited by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO, to assist in investigations by virtue of the rules in the bank. It therefore assured the general public that GCB remains vigilant in its monitoring and controls to enable the early detection of such fraudulent activities. It also thanked all whistleblowers and informants for reporting the incident and for their continued collaboration with the bank and law enforcement agencies throughout the investigations.
So that's what we have in the bulletin. Let's look again at our headlines. University of Ghana started to resist tolling of roads there from February 1.
And telecommunication companies have increased their voice and data rates.
And Finance Minister Sektepe reacts to pressure on President to sack him. But up next is sports, proudly brought to you by Tigo.
Welcome to sports. Let me take you straight to South Africa, where the tournament is going on now. Ghana is expected to face Libya today, but there were other matches yesterday. Let's catch up with some highlights.
Ian Goro's side looked to take control of the game early on and nearly took the lead in the 20th minute. They again should have done better with a headed effort, this time Ali Sadiki failing to find the target at all. Simba's Tole then tested out Benjamin Ochan in the Ugandan goal just before half-time, but again Zimbabwe were denied 0-0 at the break. It continued to be all Zimbabwe, but once again they flattered to deceive, with Tole wasting a glorious opportunity. With Uganda failing to trouble the Zimbabwean goal, they tried some other tactics, but failed in their efforts. Despite both teams' efforts, it ended 0-0 in Cape Town, as Zimbabwe drew their second game of the tournament.
Burkina Faso see them crash out of the African Nations Championship. They lost to Uganda in their opener, while their opponents Morocco played out to a goalless draw with Zimbabwe. The match certainly started well, with Morocco going on the offensive early and being rewarded for their efforts.
Opening goal inside a minute from Brahim El Baghri. Two waiting at the back post. Anybody had the opportunity to put this ball away.
Buoyed by the goal, Morocco continued to press for another. They created a number of chances and dominated the first half an hour of play. However, as the match began to wear on, Burkina Faso became more of a threat. It was Morocco, though, that finished the half strongest. They should have done much better in first half stoppage time, but despite their weak finishing, still took a 1-0 lead into the break. They were almost made to rue the many misses as Burkina Faso came close to erasing the deficit just after the restart. Having started the same way Morocco did in the first half, Burkina Faso were also guilty of losing focus in the latter stages. Morocco almost made them pay, but squandered another opportunity to put the game beyond the reach of their opponents. That would come back to haunt them just over 2 minutes from time as the Stallions snatched an equaliser.
And there's the equaliser they absolutely, desperately desired. It's finally come. Basiru Ouedraogo, perhaps with a goal that might save Burkina Faso.
Neither side was able to break the deadlock, the match ending 1-1 as both teams remain in the hunt for a place in the knockout.
Right, and the Burkina Faso, as much as they put in there, could not survive. They are out of the tournament. But ahead of the Ghana-Libya clash, the goalkeeper of the local Black Stars has been speaking to the media, and he is optimistic the local Black Stars will beat Libya and qualify to the next round.
It's cool when we are taking things easy in the tournament, and we hope all will be well for us.
Were you satisfied with the results and your performance in the first game?
Yes, because it's not easy, our first match against Congo, and you all saw the game. They were so high to win the game. By God's grace, everything went on well for us, so we're okay with that.
And have you seen any improvement in your team so far after the first game?
Yeah, as you can see here at the training today, the boys are really hard because we have faced Libya and Tunisia before and they score us one. And this time around, we will not give them that chance again. We are going all out to win this match to qualify for the next round, next stage.
What for now we need to do is we need to play according to the coach's instruction, and then we played as the coach Masekunudu has taught us. But I hope and pray God gives us favor so we could beat Libya. They are very tough side, but we are also tough side as well, and we are hoping they could give us a good game. But I'm assuring all Ghanaians, coming Friday, Ghana, we are going to lift up the flag high by beating Libya.
Right, and Ghana's midfielder Asidu Atobra there, encouraging his boys to go ahead and win the game. We'll see what will happen today. But let's look at what the fixtures are for today at the CHAN tournament in South Africa. Zimbabwe will come up against Uganda. That's likely to be a tough match later on today. Whilst Burkina Faso, though out, will have to play Morocco. Of course, Burkina Faso played Morocco yesterday. Sorry for the mix-up there. Enough of the CHAN tournament. Let's get into action. And the English Premier League is getting hotter and hotter. And I'm sure you are talking about the Man U Chelsea match on Sunday. But here are the fixtures for this weekend. Sunderland will be out against Southampton. Arsenal will play against Fulham. Crystal Palace against Stoke City. Manchester City will battle Cardiff City, and then Norwich against Hull City. West Ham United against Newcastle. Liverpool are up against Aston Villa. Swansea City, Tottenham Hotspur. That's the match you'll be watching. And on Sunday, you're likely to see Chelsea play Manchester United, and West Brom Albion will via Everton in one of the matches expected of the English Premier League. Now to Spain, and of course, several matches played over the weekend. But let's look at the La Liga fixtures coming up this weekend, where we'll see Malaga coming up against Valencia, and then Real Betis will come up against Real Madrid. One match that I'm sure a lot of fans will not like to miss. And Elche will play Rayo Vallecano. Granada will be playing Osasuna. Espanyol is up against Celta Vigo. Getafe will play against Real Sociedad, and Villarreal will come up against Almeria. Levante will play Barcelona, another top match. Expected to see the Giants Barcelona there. And then Atletico Madrid are up against Sevilla FC. And then Atletico Bilbao will play Real Valladolid. That's one match I'm sure fans will also be interested. And all these are up on the La Liga fixtures for this weekend. Let's turn to the Serie A fixtures, and also another exciting league that is likely to see some giants play some matches. AS Roma will come up against Livorno, Juventus against Sampdoria. Udinese will play Lazio, Atalanta against Cagliari, and then Bologna against Napoli. A top match there. Catania will travel to play Fiorentina, and then Chievo Verona against Parma. Genoa will play Internazionale, Inter Milan there, and then Sassuolo will go against Torino. And finally, AC Milan will be up against Hellas Verona. The Italian Serie A will certainly see some exciting matches this weekend too, and I'm sure fans will be excited. Now, let's turn our attention to the French Ligue 1 highlights, and certainly we'll see more matches there. Saint-Etienne against Lille, Marseille will come up against Valencia, Bastia against Bordeaux, Lorient will come up against Guingamp, and Nice will play AC Ajaccio. Sochaux will come up against Montpellier, and Stade Rennes will be up against Evian Galad. And while Stade Reims will play Lyon, Toulouse and AC Monaco will do battle, while Paris Saint-Germain will battle Nantes this weekend in the French Ligue 1.